guys, and welcome back to the channel. So welcome to part 2, you guys. Welcome to part 2, the live premiere. This is how to paint a realistic portraits in acrylics. So we're gonna get straight on into it. I have everything laid out already, you guys. I hope you've had a wonderful last week since I've seen you. I know it's been a lot going on. But yeah, we're going to get straight on into it. I have all of my colors laid out. As you can see, most of my warm colors. And then I have my browns and my blues over here. And you guys can get all of this information down in the description box below. If you happen to be, let's get started. I'm going to actually start painting. And I'm going to try to talk at the same time. So it's pretty much the same order of operations. I'm going to get a little bit of black, right? Because I'm going to start from the hair. And then I'm going to start filling in, blocking in the flowers, you guys. If you happen to miss part 1, this is a great time to go ahead and stop it. If you want to know how to do the full tutorial, and head on over. I'm going to pop it up in the iCard. And yeah, I hope you guys have been enjoying yourselves and trying to keep busy, trying to stay safe out there, you guys, with everything that's been going on in the world. It's really insane trying to stay sane in the midst of all the nonsense that has been unfolding. I'm just mixing a little bit of blue that right here that I have on my palette. And a little bit of black. I wanted to make sure I incorporated my palette this time because I know a lot of you guys was wondering about that. And I'm just mixing it in with the black. Why am I doing that? I'm mixing it in with the black because I want to have a little bit of warmth and a little bit of a little bit of something extra in my black for the base of the hair. And I'm just going to go in and fill things in. Remember, we're doing these things in layers, you guys. And the base of the hair is always going to be, I'm just tap, 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 tap. I'm using my number 8, I think it is. Or maybe it's a number, I don't know. My number 8 cat's tongue, which is my favorite brush. It's like, it's basically like having a filbert. It has like a little tip, but it's kind of round at the same time. And I'm just going around and I'm filling in that base. Now, part 2 is just a continuation. And it just shows this is how you get a realistic portrait. This is the key on getting a realistic portrait. As I told you guys before, it's all about layers, you guys. Okay? So we're just continuing in with these layers. Right? And the more layers that we add, the more realistic things will be, right? And that's what we want ultimately, is for these things to kind of look realistic, right? So yeah, if you happen to be seeing, like if you've seen part 1 and stuff like that, this is just that full continuation of part 1. Oh, if you guys happen to be in the chat on the live premiere here on YouTube, right? I'm getting into a little bit of my red oxide. And I'm actually going to go in and mix a little bit of that same black. You see how you get that transition color right in between reddish brown and black, right? And that's what I want, because I want that transition color to show up right about here. You see that? And now I'm getting my transition color. I'm going to take it right up in here. We want those different variation in our hair, you guys, right? And I'm also looking at my reference photo at the same time. I'm going to show you guys the reference photo real quick, because I know I had some people were saying that they wanted to see the reference photo that I was doing. They wanted to be able to see that. And I'm washing out my brush in between colors, you guys. Don't forget to do that. Or go ahead and switch over to a whole new brush altogether. Now I'm going in between those colors and I'm blending, 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 tap, 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 and yes, get your live. You know what I'm saying? I'm blending right in between those colors, and it's going to look like a seamless transition, as you can see, right? Now, what was I saying? Like I was saying about, if you happen to be in the chat and you have questions, go ahead and put it in all caps. I will put the palette as well as answer all of you guys' questions as best I can in the live chat if you happen to be over here on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe, you guys. Subscribe, hit that bell for all notifications. Now, get into this lighter version. Remember I said it's always 3 levels or 3 values when it comes to the hair. And that's when it comes to anything, whether you're doing skin tones, eyes, hair, whatever you're doing. You want to at least have 3 values so that you can have those different variations and it starts to look realistic. Now, I'm going to add a little bit of orange, right? Because I'm going towards the top of the hair. You can even see it right here as I'm mixing. And I'm adding a little bit. I've got a little Naples Yellow right here. If you don't have Naples Yellow, you can get regular yellow or yellow ochre and use that, okay? A little bit of that red oxide. That red oxide is going to overpower that. So I'm going to add more of the Naples Yellow, right? Because we want that to be like a yellowy orange, a little bit of orange. If you don't have orange, don't worry about it, yeah? And look at that, right? I'm just going to tap that on. And I'm actually going to get a little more yellow, red oxide because I need that to be a little bit more brown. And we're going to fill in those top pieces, right? Because the top pieces is pretty much going to be where the sun is kind of hitting her hair. As you can see in the reference photo. Oh, speaking of reference photos, right? A lot of people were saying that they wanted to see the reference photo. And you can go ahead and see the reference. If you want to have access to the reference photo, you guys, I'm going to add a little more red oxide. If you want to see the full reference photo, you can head over to my community. Head over to my group over on Facebook, right? And you can have full access to the reference photo. But I will show you really, really quick on here. And boom, there you go. That's our reference photo. I have that off to the side so I can have that to look at. If you happen to hear the nuances of my child in the background, I'm so sorry about that. But you know the current circumstances that we're under right now, that the kitties are home. So usually I get to film. So here's our reference photo. You can see like the little reddish browns and stuff like that right here. But we're going to get into that after we block in this second layer. So anyway, you know what the current circumstances that's going on in the world right now, baby. The kitties are home, okay? That's just the way it is, babe, okay? The kitties are home and they are in full force. Now I'm going to get some of this dark color because I want to have... And we're going to get right in between there, right? And it's actually, and I'm going to go right in between there and get a little bit, you want to get it a little bit in there, right? And this is going to signify that, hey, we have some little dark pieces right in there. You could even mix a little red oxide in there to brown it up some more, right? And that's what we want. And you can see those, now that we're getting those other layers in there, now that we're doing these other layers, it's starting to be really, really full. And you especially want that when you're dealing with African American hair, because our hair is kinky and coarse and stuff like that. So you really want something like that. You want those little nuances, and you want it to be really, really thick, and you want to make sure you signify that. I'm adding black now, right here. Just to put the base of that hair. Hopefully you guys can see it. I think you can. Just to put the base of that hair, make sure that you're knowing that this is really dark down here, right? And if you can even tap in here. Just to have some variation, right? Now you got those different variations. Now, the second layer that people usually add, that's just to add more flavor, more layers. And then after you put the second layer on, I usually go in and start adding the little details, which is the coils and the curls that go into the hair. That's when you start adding those details in. For now, we're just putting on color, right? Now I'm gonna take a clean brush that just, you know, dipped in my water, and I'm gonna kind of mess that stuff up a little bit, right? Because I want to blend that in. We're gonna kind of get in there and mess that up, right? Just to blend that out a little bit. You see what I'm saying? Now here actually has a little more, if you look in your reference photo, if you happen to be in the group, here actually has a little bit of a coil, which you can signify by doing that little tap, right? Take a little bit of your your orangey concoction that you have here, and you put in a little coil right there. Boom, 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 right? And you put in that little bit of a coil, if you can see that, yeah? You put in that little bit of a coil right there. And now, you know, it's starting to really look full, you guys. Really, really look full, right? All right, now we're going to leave that alone. And we're not going to mess with that, with the hair, right, too much more right now. And, oh, I'm actually going to, and remember how I said before I like to jump around? So I'm actually going to take a thin layer, right, of this orangey stuff. Thin layer just means like you thinned it out with glazing liquid or water, right? I'm going to get a little spray of water, boom, and it's going to start to drip, but don't freak out. You know, it's just the way it is. Just the way it is, peeps, right? And again, we're going to try to keep this with under an hour. But if not, you know, that's okay. Because I want to bring more and more. I know that you guys enjoy these long hair tutorials. Especially now that we're all home and kind of trying to get our lives together. We're getting bored and we need something to do. And what better to do than do art? You know what I mean? So I'm going to get, now that I've thinned out this orangey thing, I'm going to go in and lay that thin layer where you can still see, because she has earrings in her ear, I want to still be able to see that. So I'm just going to lay that over the ear just to be able to get some color down over that ear. You feel what I'm saying? And that's what we're going to do there. Okay? Just to kind of cover that up. and start to build up those layers and get her ear together. So now, what has been going on with you guys? Comment down below or either comment in the chat and let me know, how has your week been? How's it been being home with the kids? Just being home, period. I'm gonna switch over to a small little round brush, if you can see it. It's a Simply Simmons. I like Simply Simmons because why? They're cheap, durable, sturdy, dependable. Yes, yes, and yes. I'm gonna get it wet because I want to start working on our flowers now. Yeah, so comment below while I'm talking about this and let me know, like, how has it been being home with the kids? As you can see with the flowers right here, right? That's why I left this big space, just in case you missed it. You can see that we have a little bit of an orange flower, and we have lots of white flowers and then little reds and oranges and stuff like that. Now, a lot of people think that when you do a white flower, it's like straight up white. No, usually the white flowers, they're never just white. They have grays and a lot of different other colors, and you just mix it with white, right? You can mix all different types of colors with white in order to get a beautiful white flower. You know what I mean? But you just have to do it in moderation, you know, because white flowers tend to pick up the light and reflections and whatever is around it. So that's why it's never just straight up white. Okay? So yeah, we're going to start to fill in those flowers, and that's why I put my colors out, okay? Yeah, I put my colors out. Now, I'm going to periodically kind of lift this up so you can see it, because I want you to have to be able to see my full palette as well as everything that I'm doing. So I'm going to periodically lift it up so you guys can see up close, okay? I hope that's all right. You let me know, okay? All right, so there's several different ways you can go about getting the orange. If orange you can buy in the store, Michael's, whatever it is, right? But orange is like a convenience color. If you don't have it in the tube, you can go ahead and mix it with yellow and a red. And then if you add, actually, little known fact, if you add white to orange, you still get a pink, right? So that's the good thing about it. And if you add a little bit of magenta, you get an even better pink, okay? All right, so I'm going to start here with my flower, kind of pop it in, This actually has some stuff here too. Let me go in with this orange first, you guys. So I'm going to get a little bit of orange. But yeah, fill me in while I mix this color. And get a little magenta. You see how that's a beautiful, beautiful, like reddish orange, yeah? You don't need a lot of magenta because magenta is very strong, especially if you get the quinacridone magenta, right? It's real strong. So anyway, I'm going to get a little bit of white. And you see how that starts to pink up, right? That's starting to pink up for me. And I'm going to put a little more magenta in it, because I need it to be a little more pink than orange. You feel what I'm saying? You got to play around with these combinations. I'm also going to link, in case you guys are wondering about color theory, because this is, you know, it's good to know color theory and know how to, I put more white in, know how to mix your colors as well as anatomy, at least a little bit of anatomy, right? Yeah, so let's start out with this as our kind of base color. You can hear kind of like cartoons in the back. Yeah. You can hear them cartoons in the back, baby. And I'm going to fill in. If you guys need the traceable, right? Like you're not good with drawing. You're like, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to deal with drawing. I don't want to deal with any of that stuff. You can head over to my Patreon. I'm going to add more white because I feel like I'm going into this top piece right here. So I want this to be a little bit lighter. Same thing here. That needs to be a little bit lighter. And I'm leaving that middle part open because that middle part has like a dark kind of thing to it. So I'm going to leave that middle part open. Over here on the side, it's like a little, I don't even know how to explain it. These are like little cluster of flowers. So I'm going to like abstractly kind of block that in. Now, you don't necessarily have to go directly by what I'm doing, you guys, as far as the reference goes. Sorry, let me go ahead and get my rag. My little weird rag, okay? So you want to wipe off your brush. And again, you should be washing your brush off in between paintings, right? So anyway, you don't have to go directly by what I'm doing as far as the color schemes go in the hair. I mean, yeah, and whether the hair, if you happen to be an intermediate painter or an advanced painter, because I have all genres, all sets of people that watch my videos from advanced to beginner. So if you happen to be, you know, an advanced painter and you don't want to put your flowers that color, you don't have to. You know, feel free to kind of do your own thing, and I would love to see that. Okay, so it's some more flowers here, right? And I want those to be a little bit more pink. So I'm going to add more pink to my like little orange mixture and put that here. And again, same thing with the face and the hair. This is just the blocking stage. And the blocking stage is never perfect, you guys. Okay, this one looks really dark. I'm actually going to add a little bit of orange to it because it actually has a reddish tinge right here. Right here it has a reddish kind of tinge to it. So I'm going to add more orange than pink, and that's going to give me kind of like that reddish tinge. Alright. Now I'm going to go in and add that little black piece in the middle. But again, I never do strictly black. I'm actually going to go in. I didn't clean off my brush, and I'm going to go in. You could actually use purple, but since you already have the orange on your thing, go ahead. You could actually add magenta and black together, that will give you the purple. You see that? Boom. Boom. Booyah. Okay? That'll give you your purple. You see that? That's purple right there. It don't look purple, but it is. And you want to make sure you're using the brush that goes along with the job. Right? So let me get a little bit of, this is actually a little bit darker in the middle. So you want to make sure you have like a darker brush. Smaller brush. The words elude me, okay? You want to make sure you have a smaller brush to go along right here. And I'm going to actually wash off my brush, wipe off the excess water, and go in and try to smooth a little bit of that out. Smooth it out, baby. Smooth it out. Okay, so it's some green in here, right? Green. Some green flowers. Not flowers, but they're like leaves. I don't even know what to call them. Okay, so I'm going to get a Naples Yellow. Naples Yellows. And boom. Now, depending on the yellow you have, that's going to dictate what type of green you get. You see I'm getting like a muted, kind of olivey, like weird green, right? So that's fine for flowers because you really don't want something that's, you don't want anything that's like electric blue-green. So anyway, these are more like leaves. These are like leaves. Right here. You got some leaves. And I actually want to get a different yellow. But you know what? It is what it is. I'm actually going to add like a little bit of yellow here. And we actually have some yellow right here. But you know what? I don't want to put that on there because I have green on my, what's her name? And then we have, sorry you guys, I need to get back in the green. And we have some green here. We have a little bit of green there. And I actually have some white. The rest of these are kind of like a white flower. But again, remember what I said about you don't necessarily have to have them white. So I'm going to actually use the Naples Yellow. And I'm going to get a lot of white. A lot of pink. Mix my pink, white, yellow. And I'm actually going to go here with it. Right here. And that'll give me a different variation altogether. You see that? I'm going to do it right here too. That's a whole nother flower right there. See that, you guys? You see it? You see it? You're loving it? And actually, now that I think about it, I'm going to wash off my brush because there should actually be some dark down here. You got to have dark down there to signify that your hair is there, right? Get a little bit of that brown, a little bit of that black, and go in right there. So this should actually be dark down here for real. So that's the hairline. And I'm going to push those up. So you can push things around when you have acrylics. Push things around, you guys. Push it around. Because you got to have her hairline here. I don't know how I forgot that hairline, but I did. And I knew something was weird because her face was looking weird, right? Face was looking weird. All right, I'm gonna get a little bit of brown, a little bit of that brown. And this actually has like a pattern. Not a pattern, but you know what I mean. Like a thing. Now, you see how I have that, like that hard line? Okay, I have that hard line right here. Don't leave it like that, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to go in. Let me add some black, really. See some areas I need to add black. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. And yeah, let's get that black in there. Get a little bit of black in here. You want to have those variations in there. Yeah. Okay. Make sure they're in there too. Okay. All right. So you have that hard line right there. What you do is you get a clean, dry, you don't want it to be too wet. And you just go in and you go right here. And you just softly start to like kind of work that out. Don't totally blend it out, but do the best you can to kind of get that blended out as much as you can. We'll go back in with another layer at another time. But do the best you can to kind of blend it out now, because no matter how many layers you put, if you have a hard line, it's going to show up. You feel what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. All right, now here, I actually need to push back a little bit, push it back, push it back. This needs to go here. Okay. So that's looking more like a hairline. It's looking like it's actually in her hair. Okay. And put a little bit of black right here in this recess. Right here in that recess. Not all the way down, but right there. You don't want to use a lot of black, okay? It's like, I know some people go straight in, like straight in the tube. I'm going to go straight in the tube and use black, but black tends to flatten things out. That's why I definitely wouldn't advise people to just use like straight up black. You know what I'm saying? And move this over a little bit. And you guys don't need to see my water. So yeah. Alright, so we have our hairline in. I'm going to, ooh. I kind of got my thing right into the white. Get a little bit of blue. A little bit of blue, blue, blue. Remember what I said about this before? Blue is basically like having gray. And I'm gonna go right in here. But it's like a light gray, you see it? It reads as gray, even though it is not gray. You don't want it to be too dark, so you add a little bit of, what's the name to it? Remember I always tell you that, add a little bit of black to it to spice it up. Remember I always tell you guys that, straight up black and white is boring. Because it is. Like, yeah. This should actually be gray right here because there's a flower under there. So I'm gonna make that gray. Right in here needs to be a little gray. Right up under here should be a little tiny gray. Okay. And yeah. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Okay, so let me zoom in a little bit for you guys. So you're not totally zoomed out. So you can have a little bit more of a close-up. And yeah. Hopefully you guys are telling me like what, let me check and see if you, what have you been having going on this week? I would love to know. I know it's been interesting. It's been weird. It's a lot of weirdness going on in the country right now. Okay, so we zoomed in. And I had a chance to kind of change out my water. Voila, it's like magic. You should definitely, you see how the water is really muddy right now, right? So you definitely want to go ahead and change out your water periodically. Because you definitely don't want your colors getting muddy. You want them to be nice and fresh, nice and alive, okay? So that does the body good. Okay, you guys? All right, so now we've pretty much, I've done what I wanted to do. I've done my blocking stage with the hair, with the flowers. So now I'm still on this little round brush that I have. And I'm going to do the eyes. But I'm going to mix a little bit of, again, with this magenta and black. Or you could just use straight up black if you want. And I'm going to pop her eye in. Now, in the reference photo, try to do this with a small brush. See, I kind of pop that eye in. Hopefully you can see it. And that was just straight up black. Alright. Move it down a little bit so you can see it. So that was just straight up black and magenta that I used. Now you want to get a small kind of detail brush for this, you guys, right? And now I done popped her eye in, right? She has a little bit of darkness happening in her ear. So I'm gonna get a little bit of brown. Actually, and get a little bit of brown, take it right on down to here. Right on down the edges, her ear. Right? And see, that's the beauty of blocking things in beforehand. You know what I'm saying? Because we see that I already blocked that ear in. That's a good thing. Now, I'm going to take that same round brush, brown town, okay? And I'm going to still have my red. I still want to have my red to kind of warm that brown up. Magenta, red oxide, more brown, right? And I'm gonna get now here's one of my favorite products that I usually use, Acrylic Glazing Liquid. And this is really good for getting these thin glazes, or you could just do the same thin layers that I was talking about. It looks white, but it's not white. So I'm gonna get that, mix it in here, because I want to get a thin glaze like that. And I'm gonna actually brush it right at the back of her neck. Why am I doing that? I'm doing that because I want it to be a thin glaze to give the illusion like it's like her hair is kind of casting a shadow at the back of her neck. And I'm going to mix a little black in it because I feel like, because that's my business. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my business, right? So I'm going to mix a little black in there and get that in, right? Same thing right here. We're going to reinforce those little rolls of the neck. And right here, it's going to be even darker. So you want to get a little more black. Or you can mix blue and brown, which is my favorite combination, blue and brown. And that will give you a monochromatic black, okay? Blue and brown. And boom, you see? Because I want the back of her neck. I actually fixed her neck because it was a little too far down. And I'm going to take that color right here. See? These are glazes. It's a great way to make things look realistic, right? And even just that little bit of glaze. And I'm going to put a little bit here too, right at the back of the neck again. Right up under the ear. But not too much. Because if you do it too much, you're gonna make her too dark, and she's not that dark, right? Go ahead and just kind of brush it out. Brush it out. Now, you can see that little slither right there of eyeball, right? Little slither of eyeball. Let me bring it up for you guys. Little slither of eyeball right there, right? Now, I'm going to put that, I'm going to pop that. That's the white of the eye, the sclera. And I'm going to pop that in. Pop that in. I mixed a little bit of blue-gray, you know, my favorite combination. You don't want a lot when you brush, like very, very little. So I'm going to wipe off that excess. And you get your little detail brush, and I'm actually going to pop that in. Pop that in. You're not going to really see it too much right now, but believe me, it makes a world of difference. Okay, it makes a world of difference, you guys. And you can actually get a darker gray, because I feel like it needs to be way darker. And I want to get, I feel like I want to get an even smaller brush. Smaller. Like, oh my god. And I'm getting into those browns. It's like a dark gray. And I'm gonna pop that in. Again, if you happen to lose the eye or lose some sort of whatever, you can always go back in and go on top, because remember, acrylics you can glaze in. So I'm gonna get this magenta purple, a little bit of black, but I want it to be more magenta than black, as you can see right there. And I'm actually gonna fill in, because she has like a I don't know how to explain it, like a smoky eye. And this whole thing is gonna kind of be, you can go ahead and just add that. It's like a cat eye. Think about it like if you had on makeup, right? It's like a cat eye. So that's what you would do. You would add that in. Okay? And again, this looks weird now, but it's not going to look weird when everything's said and done, okay? It's not going to look weird when everything's said and done. I'm going to get some of that red oxide. Fill in right here. She has a little something, something right there. And I'm going to take it right down here, right up under the nose. Because you got to have some shadow underneath your nose, you guys. Okay? Same thing here. I'm actually going to fill this in. I'm actually, see how I can go right back on top? Because this actually has... I actually put that hairline way too far down. So that's why I'm going back on top. And man, a little bit of yellow oxide to show that earlobe or ear, whatever. The ear doohickey. Ha! The ear doohickey, okay? And go right back into that yellow oxide. So come on, y'all. Come on in. Come on with the portrait. Keep up with me. And this is where color mixing comes in, because then it'll come very naturally to you guys. Put some right here. Right there, right there, right there. Put some right here. And I'm going to go even lighter. I'm going to actually add some white. Remember what I was telling you guys before? Hopefully you remember, where you don't add too much white to African American, Latina kind of portraiture. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to add this right here. A little bit here. And add some here. And I'm just going in and popping these values in where I see them. Like this tends to be really light. Again, but you have to work quickly, so I'm going to add that light there. And then I'm going to go a little bit darker with the red oxide that we already have on the palette. That we already have on the palette. Oh, and that's too dark. So wash off your brush. Again, when you're dealing with portraiture or acrylics, let's just say that, take that excess off. Put some here. When you're dealing with acrylics, I'm adding a little yellow oxide to kind of combat that. You want to go ahead and start to you want to blend quickly. You don't want to fiddle around too much when it comes to acrylics. I just added a little bit of red oxide to that already yellow that I have, just to give me a different value. To go right up under here. Because remember, that's where her cheekbone is. Now we're going to start to get into the little details here. See that I'm adding in those spots right here. And I'm actually gonna bring her hairline, just scrubbing right here just to bring that hairline up just a bit. And most of the color is out of my brush, so I'm gonna blend as best I can right around here. Like, again, like you're putting on makeup, right? So you want to blend around there to get that to blend out. Blend it out. Yum, yum, yum. I'm actually going to add some of this right here. Because you will have a little bit of that right there. You see what I'm saying? That makes a world of difference right there. You gotta add those different variations to get things to start looking real, and you know what I mean? Going back into this yellow oxide. That yellow oxide is gonna go right there. Straight up yellow oxide. So anyway, what is going on with me? It's been a trying week. You know, we are on, most of us are on week probably 2. Most of us are on week 2 of the apocalypse, okay? Most of us are on that, week 2. So, I pretty much just been in the house, like, hanging in there, trying to keep the kids, trying to keep my son occupied as much as I could. You know, but it's only but so much you kind of do with that as far as that goes. Keeping them occupied and happy and stuff like that. It's not really... Yeah, I actually don't want that there, so I'm not going to put that there. So trying to keep him occupied, trying to make sure that, you know, I'm being present with him as much as possible. You know, at one point he got really kind of depressed and withdrawn and really didn't want to do much and stuff like that. So that was kind of like a real big issue for me, because I'm like, you know, oh my God, like, he's getting depressed, you know, getting quiet. At first I thought he was sick, you know, but then I started to realize he wasn't sick. It was just, I guess, maybe the stress of everything that was going on. I think that maybe that's what it was. I don't know, but it's, you know, it's just been a lot, you know, especially for us parents out there that's trying to keep the kids kind of occupied and you know, not freaking out, because most of them, especially for the little ones, they really don't understand what's going on. You know, they know, okay, something's not right, like nobody's going to school, nobody's doing anything, but they really don't really understand. You know what I'm saying? So, it's not like it's somebody around to say, oh, hey, yeah, this is. It's not like it's like a baby translator, you know what I'm saying, or a kid translator to say, oh, hey, this is how it's going, and this is what happened, and this is why you guys are not in school, and blase, blase. You know, it's not like it's somebody like that out there to say that sort of stuff. So it can be rough, you know, because they don't really understand, and it's only but so much you can like do in a day. You know what I mean? Like, how much can you possibly do in a day? You know what I mean? We play Uno sometime. I recently started getting into exercising and trying to get myself together because I've gained a lot of weight just in general, I think, from being an artist, and I'm kind of used to being inside a little bit because for the most part I'm like full-time artist. I'm gonna put a little bit of glaze of black, not black, but like kind of like a darker thing right here. So anyway, it's like washing off my brush. I'm actually gonna get some glazing liquid. Now this is where glazing liquid really comes in and is helpful, because you can kind of just whip that glazing liquid on and it will smooth that edge out where you're not kind of getting like that hard edge. You feel what I'm saying? So that's where that comes in. And this is exactly why I tell people, but if you use this stuff, it tends to be glossy, depending on which one you... Ooh, Lord. Now look. I done got white all over my stuff. Yuck. Yuck, yuck, yuck. So anyway, that's the teaching moment right there. Don't get your canvas in the white. Anyway, so like I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by you know what or whatever. What was I saying? I don't know. Yeah, like I was talking about, I think I was talking about like art. You guys could probably tell me in the comments what was I talking about. But anyway, I was talking about being an artist. For the most part, me being an artist, being an entrepreneur, you know, I've tried to kind of be mostly full-time over the last year. So, besides, you know, I still do my nursing thing here and there. But for the most part, I am pretty much... I'm adding a glaze of this. And right up under here. Right up under there. And of course right here. Because this is going to be signifying that it's... go right here, and then put some right here. And you want to quickly kind of blend that out. So anyway, I've been full-time almost a year now, and within that year, you know, I've been pretty much home a lot. and, you know, being home. So I'm used to it. I'm used to being home. However, so you kind of blended that out with the glazing liquid. But for the most part, the kids, you feel what I'm saying? The kids are not used to being at home. So that has been rough. You know what I mean? Like, just trying to navigate through all of that and, you know, keep him busy as possible. And, you know, being present as much as possible. But at the same time, I still got to try to, you know, do my thing. Like, because, again, I'm a full-time artist. Let me just test out this color. Yep. Let me add a little more Naples Yellow. So again, I'm a full-time artist, and with me being a full-time artist, I still have to do my thing. I still have to, you know, make videos and continue to do my regular schedule. Even though all of this stuff is happening amongst me, you know what I mean? Even though all these things are happening. So, I'm actually going to take this color right here. I like that. I like it. I love it. Can't forget to blend that stuff out. So blend as you go. Blend as you go. And that way you can prevent those hard lines. But anyway, you know, trying to be present. That's it. Like, I'm just, like, out here surviving. And, you know, trying to be present. And at the same time, you know, us artists, I see all my artist friends and my creative friends kind of out here kind of doing their thing. Just straight up doing their thing. Like, playing no games, okay? Out here entertaining people, keeping people happy, and stuff like that. And that's everything as far as I'm concerned. That is everything to me. Because with everything going on in the world right now, we need that. We really, really need that. Put that up here. So, yeah. That's what's been going on in my life, peeps. That's what's been going on in my life. Trying to stay sane. Trying to keep everybody sane. So people are not trying to kill each other. And a little bit of and that's that, pretty much. But how's your life been going? You know what I'm saying? Trying to keep everybody together and keep everybody happy. How's you guys' life been going? Add a little bit of this light color right there. You gotta have that for the chin. You feel what I'm saying? And she's starting to come together. I mean, before you know it, bam, Black Owl. She's gonna be looking gorge. Okay? Looking absolutely gorge. I'm liking the Naples. I like Naples Yellow. Why? Because it's a soft yellow. So that's kind of why. That's kind of why I rocks with the Naples Yellow. I'm just putting another little layer right there. Blending right out at the edges. But I'm blending it out, blending it out. Blending it right on out, peeps. Right on out. Putting a little bit of dark right around her mouth. And again, this is why reference photos or working from life is even better. Put a little bit of this red color right here. I'm kind of just brushing that on. So yeah, working from life is probably even better because, you know, you can see everything. When you're working from life, you know? I tell you one thing, guys. This video is probably going to end up being more than an hour, but that's okay. I mean, that's the way it is when you're dealing with acrylics. And I'm just getting these different variations here. A little bit right here. And I actually need that to be a little bit lighter. So I'm going to add, hopefully it's on camera, a lot of yellow oxide to that. And I'm actually going to add right there. And, you know, the skin has all sorts of colors in it, you guys. I'm going to actually have to add her eyebrow back in. I think that's why her face is looking weird. Go back in with kind of this reddish color. And go back in with the reds and the browns. Ooh. A little bit of dark right here. Just to signify that cheek, whatever you want to call it. A little right here. Right up in here. Yeppa. And let's continue down here. I mean, we pretty much did what we wanted to do here. Kind of smooth this out. I'm actually gonna take a little bit of brown. Kind of take it right here. And so yeah, I mean, what have you guys been doing to kind of stay positive and staying out of the loop? I mean, that's another thing I've been doing, kind of trying to stay away from kind of like negative people, places, things. Adding that yellow oxide right here. Yeah, trying to stay away from like negative people, negative things, and stuff like that. And I'm not gonna say it's been easy, but I think that's kind of like the only way to do it. Is to stay away from negative people. Because right now everybody is like, you can see the best and the worst in people at this point. You can see people getting some yellow ochre. No, sorry, Naples Yellow. And of course my Glazing Liquid. Naples Yellow and which is gonna give me too much of a brown. I don't want that brown. I want like a peachy brown, so I'm gonna put that here. And don't forget your brush strokes. Brush strokes are very important too. It's all about the brush strokes and the direction that you're going with your brush strokes. That's going to kind of, I don't know, kind of tell people, okay, what are you doing? You know what I mean? It's gonna read as you, like, the way I do this shoulder, right? And I'm rounding it out and I'm doing my brush strokes a certain way. That's gonna read to a viewer that, hey, that's a shoulder because the way I rounded it out, right? Right here I'm adding a lot of like Naples Yellow. Again, you don't have to add this particular yellow if you don't have it. Add whatever yellow you have, but if you have like regular yellow, like a cadmium yellow, you want to tone that down a little bit. Tone that cadmium down just a tad. And I'm going in with this darker brown right here, right? And I'm going to add a hint of red to it because she has a lot of red in her skin. Uh-oh. I don't want to lose my brush, my stroke, not my stroke. Okay, here's something here. And then you have, like, right here in the middle. I'm just brushing on that red because that's her back, right? And that's gonna say to the viewer, hey, her back is kind of moving this way. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, watch those brush strokes, okay? Watch it, and I need more red up here. And why am I adding more red up there? I'm adding more red up there because, again, depending on where you're going with it, that's gonna signify to the viewer what it is you're painting. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah. Here, and you can see now that we're adding those layers, right? We're adding those different layers. Ooh, this is actually turning out pink, which is kind of nice, yeah? We can add the little pinkish, peachy color right there. But then you can go down with a little bit of brown. Right under here, you go down with the brown. Go down with the brown town, right? Kind of blending this stuff together. You go right in between these colors and just blend, and you get that nice kind of rounded blend right there. You see what I'm saying? But you got to do it while both values are wet. That's when you do it. But anyway, yeah, you know, trying to stay away from, and I'm getting my gray again, because I want to gray, well, you know, blue gray. Make it a lot thinner when it gets down here, because and a little bit, you want to do like a little indication right here that you got something else going on, but you don't have to put a lot. You don't even have to do it at all. But anyway, you want to make it thinner here because that gives the perspective as if the strap of her dress is, you know, going down. You get what I'm saying? So yeah. So, what was I saying? I don't know. Okay, so let's fiddle around with the hair. And we made some pretty good progress, you guys. We're not at the total end, but we're kind of like at the end. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get this brush, my cat's tongue, again because I kind of want to do her little squiggles at the top here, which I'm gonna get yellow ochre and red. And make it more yellow than anything, right? Which, if you can see it. And I'm gonna have some fun, and we're gonna go in with these curls. And we're just gonna straight up squiggle things in. And she has some squiggles here. And you want to make it lighter than what's already there. Make it lighter, baby. And you can kind of have some fun. You don't have to go with what is actually... You don't have to go with what is actually there. You can actually wet your brush. If you wet it a lot and go right up on the tip, hopefully you can see it. You go right up on the tip. Then you can see you'll start to get these little, and then you can tap. And you'll start to get these little curls. You can even go here with it, you know. But keep your brush wet if you want to be able. And then you do different colors. Like back there, you do these different colors. So you have some that's really yellow, some that's really red. And you're good here. Right at the top, you get these really yellow ones. Right at the top. And you want to pick that up on your brush. You see what I'm saying? Let me go down so that it's in the shot. You see that? And you just have fun with it. Just fill it in. Especially right here. There's one. Boom. 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 There's a curl right there. Curl right there. You want to stick to your yellows for the very tippy tops of whatever you're doing. Right there. That's when you can stick to your yellow for the very tippy tops. And the red, you can go down with the red. Right? Down, down, down. And you have something here. The further down you go in, you can actually go darker and darker. So add a little bit of black. If you happen to, and then you go right in between these things. Go in between those little curls, and you can actually define that if you wanted to. See that? Define it. Right? Define it, define it. Say you don't like what you put in. Go ahead and define it. And you can get really like hyper realistic the more kind of layers and stuff you go into. You can really get hyper realistic with this stuff. You really, really can, you guys. But you definitely want to have that dark. That's why I put the dark on top first. Okay? I put that dark. Now, say you don't like the yellow, right? It's too yellow. You can always go on top once all of it dries and just add a little bit of red. You know, glaze some red on. I taught you how to glaze a minute ago. Glaze some red on. There's nothing that's ever, you know, permanent, stuck in stone. Like, oh, I don't like that. That's hideous. Yada, yada, yada. There's nothing ever like that. And especially when you're dealing with acrylics. There's nothing ever like that. So never feel like you stuck. You know, because you're never really stuck. And then you want to have some flyaways still. Get those flyaways in to make it even more realistic. Flyaways, flick your brush. Flick it, flick it, flick it. If you want to have those flyaways, you get a little bit of brown. And I'm going to put it like that here. And you get those little flyaways in. Flick that off. You got to have... That's really the way to make things look realistic, is to get those kind of flyaways in there. You know? And again, now you see why I was telling you guys about layers. Because layers is what's going to save your life at the end of the day. And it's going to make things look super hyper realistic. Get your dark, or you can even get some red and do a little flyaway. You know, you just flick the wrist. Flick it. Flick it, like, you know, it's nothing ever stuck in stone. I stay doing it. I stay doing that. It's like, okay, I don't like you right now. And, alrighty then. Now you can even get a little bit of brown. Glaze, glaze, glaze. And go right here. See? Glaze that in. So you have that illusion. Like the hair is surrounding her. You see what I'm saying? See how quickly that came together? Boom. All it is a little patience, you guys. Like, you'd be surprised. A little patience, a little extra work goes a long, long way. A little extra work goes a long way. I promise you. You willing to put in that little bit of extra work? Goes a long way. You see I'm doing these little flicky things, flicky motions, right? A little bit. That came together real quick. A little bit goes a long, long way. So take your time when you're dealing with portraiture, okay? And I promise you, you will get it. Okay, so I think I'm kind of happy with the hair at this point. You can always go back in and do more if you feel like it. Because we're actually getting into above the hour mark at this point. But I don't want to delay it anymore, you guys. Yeah? Alright? Because I can fiddle with that hair all day long. Okay. Now, I'm actually going to take this and go right up under here. See that glaze that went right on over there? And boom. All right, let's fill in the earring. Now, what I like to do with the earring, I'm not going to get into too much detail with that. Let's just do a gray with the earring. And again, I'm going to get my blue. A little bit of black. And we're gonna get that earring in, okay? So white, black, blue, and gray. Blase, blase. Blase, blase. Okay? Now, go ahead and save this to your playlist, you guys, right? Save it to the playlist. If you feel like, I'm actually gonna bring this in a little bit so that you guys can see it. Okay. She has like these earrings right here. And she has another one here. And another one here. See, I just blocked that in with a little bit of blue-gray. A little bit of blue-gray, right? And that's it. That's all she wrote, peeps. Alright, I don't like her lips, so I'm going to get some of that magenta. Get some of that magenta life. A little bit of brown. And go right up under here. Fill in that top lip. Okay, you guys, so it was getting a little long, so I switched you guys into time lapse. So as you can see, I'm kind of filling in the flowers. I'm doing a lot of variations on these different colors. Remember when I was telling you guys about making sure that you have these at least 3 different values, and that applies to anything, whether I'm doing the flowers, the hair, the face, or whatever I'm doing. You want to always make sure you have those different variations in value. You can see I'm filling in the eyes. And again, we have that lower lid and that upper lid. And you know I like to jump all over the place. So I'm jumping from the face into the flowers and everything else in between, you guys. So I'm doing the cheeks and I'm slowly kind of building up and adding the highlights and blending out, adding more highlights, blending out again. And again, you can go in and in and in when you're dealing with realistic portraiture. And you can get it to the point where you can be really hyper realistic and put in those details. Once you get to this stage, you're just putting in nothing but the details, which is going to hone home that this is the person that you're actually painting. This is when you're really getting into the realistic portraiture. You know what I mean? I went in, I did I put all of those different highlights and stuff like that on her skin, on her cheeks. I'm smoothing out the skin tone, get it nice and rich and beautiful. Now I'm adding in the finishing touches on the background, all of these different variations of blue. Oh my God, you guys, and that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a long haul, but as you can see, it's well worth it if you take your time and you really go in. You can really do some realistic work. I hope you are being safe out there, you guys, and really loving on each other and staying happy and healthy and safe. If you would like to support the channel, you can head over to patreon.com/creativegirlofcolor because I recently just launched my new Facebook group, you guys, called Creative Girl Art Academy. So you can go ahead and join that because that's specifically for Patreons, and you can learn detailed stuff just like this and other fun projects for you and the whole family. And that's it. I love you guys so much. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye.